Hello, beautifuls. I want to share a perspective here that I'm sure at first is going to upset some people and ignite them until they hear the fullness of it. And even then they still might be upset, and that is totally their prerogative. But my job here is not to make everybody happy, but is simply to help people look at things from a different perspective. So the other day I was having a conversation with somebody, and the idea of racism came up. And as the conversation bumped along, we were talking about how labels in general will never heal the problem. So when we call somebody a racist, it's not going to heal the problem. As a matter of fact, it creates a further division. And what if we looked at somebody, instead of with that label, we looked at them from a place of desiring to understand them, knowing that their actions were coming from a misguided belief and a fear. And as the conversation morphed, it was brought up about how they agreed that many of the labels that are being used in order to create inclusivity are actually creating division. And the experience that they shared with me, that I'm going to share with you here, is that their church has always been an inclusive church. But as of late, they started having LGBTQ evenings. And only those that identify under that umbrella are allowed to attend that evening. And this person was upset about that, not because that they had their own evening, but in the place where, if we are trying to be inclusive, how can that possibly happen when we are causing greater division? And that happens anytime we label. When we label another, we put them in a box, and they can and only live in our experience in that box. Those labels we also use on ourselves, put ourselves in that box and keep us separate from others. Another movement that has had the opposite effect than what was touted as its original intention is the Black Lives Matter. So how then do we come to a place of acceptance for one another and, inclusivity in a very, very diverse world? And that comes from a place where we stop labeling ourselves, because as long as we are labeling ourselves, we will continue to label others. And if we just see ourselves as this beautiful expression of individuality, we will be able to hold that same space for others. I thank you so much for listening to this perspective, and until we speak again, please be well.